William.
That sounds wonderful.
So, how you doing today?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Not bad, man. We're using the Google Hangouts for the first time tonight. I'm a little bit new to this, as are you.
Yes, this is a new thing for us. I'm trying to look at the YouTube on my desktop, and the picture quality is not the greatest, but it works.
Yeah, it's like maybe that aspect of it's a little bit worse. There's some people in the audience right now. I'll give them a little shout out. We got Justin Reich, Ricky Mahoney, Mad Max Vapes, official, of course. Billy Cooper. We got Cooper's Vaping View, who's also joining me today on the live cast. Show and Tell Vapes, Anthony Adornetto. Yo, what's up? Justin Kendall. Show and Tell Vapes, if I didn't already say that. Tony Laura, Mr. Philly Vapes himself. Hello, Ashley Brown, and Anthony again. So it's just the two of us tonight, Bill, just like the song. Just the two of us. But you know what? We can make it if we try, Bill.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to discuss?
Not a whole lot going on. I mean, I've kind of had a busy week. I haven't had time to even think about any. But the only thing, let's bring up a discussion. Something that annoys the hell out of everybody and starting to annoy me is I noticed the waffle groups. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm not going to insult anybody, but I noticed a couple of the waffle groups are, starting to put up some weird stuff. Like I've seen alcohol, I've seen video games, I've seen, all kinds of stuff. And my main issue is what I'm starting to see is, I see a $60 item and it's up for 10 spots at $30 a spot. It's like, come on, guys, really? Yeah. It's getting a little ridiculous. I mean, that's one of the only things I've had a problem with lately, and it's something that's been grinding on me for the past couple of weeks.
And I think that has to do with a lack of products coming out as well, a lack of good products coming out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Someone in the audience said, "Where's Eric at tonight?" He is, I believe he just got in from NVE. Is that what it's NVE, right? Yeah, he just got in from that, or he just landed on from in the airport, so I don't think he could really make it. And I would imagine he's probably a little bit tired out too as well. There's a time change and everything, so I'm sure he has a little bit of jet lag. I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably on the road right now on his way to on his way home from the airport. That seems like about the right timing because he said he just landed at the airport about an hour ago, so he's probably making it through.
Well, I feel like we missed out on something. Do you think we missed out on something big in the NVE?
Honestly, I think we do. I think we did. I would have loved to have been there. I mean, from what I was told, it was like 3 times the size of the Vegas show. So I'm kind of jealous there. I mean, getting to see everybody that we talk about and, the people who do stop in and visit like Jay and them, I would have loved to have been there, to say hi to them in person. But, it's kind of crazy. I don't have the money. I'm a working stiff.
Oh, I hear you on that. I felt like the NVE just crept up very quickly, and I felt like it came a lot sooner than I thought it was going to come. And then I really wanted to go, and I missed out. But I think I am going to try to go to Vegas next year when it comes up because I feel like that'll be a good one.
Yeah. Jonathan Arroyo, it was held at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
Mohegan Sun? That's what it was?
I believe that's what it was.
So, since we don't have a guest and it's just the both of us, maybe we could have some audience questions. Maybe they could ask us some stuff, see what we think. But in the meantime, maybe when some questions are coming up, do you know of any good products coming up lately? Because I really haven't seen anything that I find to be super intriguing.
No, I haven't seen anything at all that was like super like oh, I got to check that out. That looks good. But, you know, I've been kind of low key lately. So, I mean, it's one of those things.
See, I
Love
feel
to
like,
be more active, but money doesn't allow it.
well, and you know what? That's something that really dictates what you get and what you can get, you know? Sorry, I'm building something right now. I am paying attention, but I trying to put a good juice in this
That's
leg.
okay. I'm eating right now. So,
Yeah.
Show and Tell Vape said he would have went on, but nobody invited him.
Hey man, I can send you a link if you want to come on.
Yeah, throw Show and Tell in there.
If you want to come on the show, man, I'll send you a link on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Hey, that's cool, fictitious character. I like Lion Wholesale. I do think they are a good website so far. They've treated me well. I mean, they sent me some batteries to check out, and I couldn't thank them more for that. I mean, that's pretty cool. They, you know, trusted a small channel, and that's a win for me, or a win for any small channel, really. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent.
You know, they even said, you know, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do anything for you because we have a lot of people that we're sponsoring already, and they found a way to make it happen. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
In that regards, I do thank them a lot. So, and let me try to find you on here, and I will send you a link. Show and Tell Vapes.
I got the same treatment from Golisi. I mean, granted, they had a lot of clauses in their stuff, but I can't complain. I can't complain at all. They sent me a whole care package with a bunch of their 3 different types of 18650s and some 21700s. So they really did me solid.
You said Golisi?
Yes, Golisi. I think I have one here. Hold on.
Yeah, those are good batteries, man.
Yeah, Tony swears by them as well. I wanted to try them out, and they're a pain to find to buy. So I just messaged them directly, and next thing you know, I get a care package coming in. So I was kind of happy about that. Oh,
well, Show and Tell Vape said he wasn't talking about our show. He was talking about NVE, not joining our show. Hey, man, if there's anyone in the audience right now that wants to join the show and is feeling froggy, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. You guys can get on.
Give me 1 second. I got to turn on the light so I can see what I'm doing.
We can have a little bit of a guest segment if you guys would like. Someone would like to come on.
All right, now I can see what I'm doing.
Someone said every time you say Golisi, they pay you $5.
I wish. I wish I would say Golisi. That would be a major part of my vocabulary.
Yeah, man. You say it 100 times, that's $500.
Whoop, what am I doing here? I wound up going completely out of the freaking chat here.
Hey, why don't someone in the audience say come on the show, man? It's open. Just in case you guys are curious, in case you care, I am building this thing right now, the Lay Hypersonic. So I'm not ignoring all of you per se. I'm just very intently building this thing. And now I can finally say Lay without people getting angry and saying I'm not French. Lay Hypersonic.
That's funny.
There's a lot of key words that they're called trigger words. You know what I'm saying? They make people angry when they hear you say them. And for some reason, Lay makes people angry. Oh, what's up, fictitious character? And we 609. I did not say hello to you, fictitious character. I just seen you, Brian Feeney. How you doing, man? Sick boy. How are you, buddy boy? Mike in LA. How are you? Mailman Vapes Twa. How you doing, buddy boy?
Mailman's the man.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, let's see how this vapes right now. Which Golisi batteries you got? You got the 21700s or you got the 2700s?
I believe they're the 21. The 21. Give me 1 second. Let me check one. Oh wait, I think I have one in this right here. Hold on. I think I have one in the Brizo. Nope, don't have one in.
Robert Reagan, are you talking about this? I mean, it's not an SXK, but it's a VTX, which is, I mean, they basically stole this design from Boxer. I mean, you can kind of tell, but
Yeah, they're the Galisi, the they're the 21-700s.
I've seen those before. Those are nice, man.
They're beast batteries. You know what? Tony suggested them to me, and I was all over it. And I was like, yeah, I'll check them out. I'll check them out. And I tell you what, they hit hard as a Sony VTC 5A.
Well, you know, I've kind of transitioned away from 18650s, and I've moved more towards 21700s. But as I got a review coming up on something that's an 18650, I have been using. Well, you want to do a buffet, Bill? As it's just two of us. I mean, you can go if you'd like to show some stuff.
I'm always running the same thing, the Taiji Storm that everybody knows, everybody likes. My Kronig box, and I've been vaping on this this Brizo right here with the side fire, and it's got the Alliance Tech Evo on top, so it looks all pretty. That's about it. Oh, and my Orion pod.
You know what, man? I tried to like the pod systems. I tried to like the Orion, and I liked it for a little bit, but it just not my style, man. I couldn't get to liking it.
Some people really gravitate towards them, and other people really could care less.
Yep, that's how I felt. Man, this thing's a pain in the ass.
I'm gonna apologize to everybody as I'm stuffing my face. My wife made homemade stuffed peppers, so.
Did she make enough for everybody?
Yeah, no.
No, that's okay. Yeah,
Steam Rocket. That actually, you know what? I saw a couple pictures of that Steam Rocket. It actually really does look like a nice little mod for an Illumide, which honestly, I mean, I thought Illumide was pretty much dead, but obviously Steam that Steam Rocket's doing something decent with it.
I like Illumide, man. I feel like it looks cool. I feel like it holds up pretty good too. I've heard that it doesn't hold up as well as PA12, but I don't know if is Illumide, because Illumide, I don't know if it's PA12 or not, or if it can be, but I've had a couple of them. So
my first Illumide mod was the Van Box mod, which everybody, wait a second, I gotta say this, everybody in chat as well. Let's have a moment of silence. Chris Van decided to shut down. There will be no more Van Box mods. He's even going to shut down the Facebook group as well.
How come?
From what I was told, he got a promotion at his daytime job, and he's going to have to like give that most of his attention.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, my first serious squonk was a Van Box mod.
I don't think I've ever seen one, man.
He did some good work. He really did. And I tell you what, if you messaged him with a problem, literally, I mean, within the hour, you got an answer back. He was all about the customer service.
Well, it's good to see people like that, because, I mean, I'd say for the most part, though, for the people I've dealt with, they've all been pretty good at answering back. I mean, there's been a couple that I felt like could have answered back, but they took their time. But, oops. But yeah, I guess I'll show you what I'm vaping on right now. I broke out a classic. I broke out the Limo with the side door, because now they ain't made like that anymore.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's true. They're all solid.
Yep. Then I got this thing that I've been working with for a little while, trying to get used to the die codes, the Limelight regulated. And then I got the thing I'm always rocking, and that is the Mountaineer Vapes 21700 mod, the Lola mods. So yeah,
Yeah, that's very much pretty. And that's a Lumide as well, right?
This one's PA12, but he makes a Lumide too, and I have an Lumide one, but I had to send them back to get fixed. That is a company that really stands behind their products and they stand behind their customer service. If you have an issue, they will let you send your stuff back and they'll fix it. So that's a very good thing about this company. I feel like they're very good at that.
Nice. Yeah, that's an overseas company, correct?
Yes, they are out of Finland, and I mean it sucks because it's so far away, and when you send it, it takes forever. But you know, it's what it is. What it is when you want something fixed, I guess.
Yeah, the price you got to pay for real service.
So,
I guess the chat's all about Sad Boy liquids right now. I noticed.
What is it?
Sad Boy liquids they were talking about. I mean, because I love that lemon cookie. That lemon cookie's bomb.
I always felt like I always thought their juices might be too sugary, but I don't know. Were they?
No, it wasn't too bad. I actually liked it. It was the lemon cookie. It tastes like a lemon butter cookie. It was really good.
See, I'm not into lemon vapes. I try. I mean, I like the blue, the Keep It 100 blue raspberry lemonade. That's about as lemony as I can go, and I mean, it's not too bad. I think a couple more people joined the chat. I don't know. Well, I could be wrong.
I tell you what, I was addicted as far as lemon vapes. There was a vape Cajun made a blackberry lemonade that was just fuck. That stuff was so addictive. I literally had to consciously make myself stop vaping it.
I like the black. Look, they sent me a Vape Tasia lanyard. Yeah, I liked the blackberry lemonade. I think it was.
Yeah,
that
stuff was bomb.
That's actually a very decent one, but it's crazy because I used to vape a lot differently when I first started, and now my palate has changed, I guess. And I liked that one. I liked the Big Bottle. I don't know if you remember that company, Big Bottle. They have those.
Yeah.
They were like the first ones, I feel like, that had 120 ml bottles, the big glass ones. Or it might even be more than that. It might be like I don't know, something kind of mil bottle, but.
Yeah, they had a 180 ml bottle.
Oh, come on, We 609. Keep It 100's like the best juice ever. You can't be that way. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anthony Basie, aka Big Ant. Hello, how you doing, man? Just joined the chat. Hey, man, people like different things, and I mean, look, I'm not just saying it. You know, I've pretty much vaped the whole line at some point in the day. You know, if I want to switch up from fruit, I go to the dessert, and it's the birthday shake. Then I'll go back to the, fruity flavors. I don't know, man. They don't kill my coils at the watts I use, and it just seems like I just really like it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not keeping it 100. What do you mean, man? Keep It 100 is all right. Come on, mailman. Vapes, toi. It's more than all right. It is great.
See, when it comes to Keep It 100, the strawberry milk one, I thought was great. That was like vaping straight up strawberry quick. I loved it, the strawberry milk. And then I liked I forgot what it was, the blue slushy tropical.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, dude, I love that one. That one was good as hell.
It is it's good, but you know what, man? I've lost my tongue for it or something, man, because I'm trying to get it to taste how it did, and it's like I can't get it to taste how it used to taste. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But.
Hey, man, babes, you want a good laugh? I got a bottle of cornbread pudding sitting on that bench right now. That's been sitting there for 3 months. For some reason, I can't get into it. I don't know what it is. Everybody was all over that stuff when it first came out. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that stuff.
I seen in the chat someone said that the dye codes that I have, the BF60 puts out 10 volts. I don't think it does, man. I tried to get it to go up that high, and it won't go that high.
Louis, Mr. High-End Louis Nicolette.
How you doing, Louis? Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's crazy because this diodes hits harder than like a DNA does at 30 watts, and I don't know if that's because it's more accurate or if it actually puts out a true 30 watts, but it's a different kind of vape, you know.
I mean, my go-to always is in this mod I have Dinner Lady Lemon Tart, and in this mod I'm running Dinner Lady Blackberry Crumble.
See,
So
I don't know. You know, they always say that flavors taste differently the higher you vape, the wattage wise, or like lower you vape, wattage wise. So I just wonder if the reason I don't like a lot of juices is because I vape lower, and maybe the flavors don't come out
yeah,
that temperature,
no,
that wattage.
that is dead on accurate. Actually, I have seen some juices that I love, and as soon as I vape them at a higher wattage, they taste great in the tank, but they suck in a mech. Um, but yeah, some of them, I've had people tell me put a lower ohm build in there, and the flavor will get up. So I was like, okay, and that's what I started doing. Thank you.
See, I never really got into the cornbread pudding either, and I think I tried it because I think there's more than one company that makes a cornbread pudding, and I or at least I don't know, it might be the same company that makes it, but I never got into that either, man. I always felt like it just wasn't that great.
Yeah, it's tough. It, I mean, juices are as subjective as RDAs and mods. It's all depends on what you like.
I agree with that. I think that there was this one flavor though. It's kind of like that. It's by it's one of Hometown Heroes. One of their off. They have like a couple different lines, and it's like a cornflake, but like a cereal vape. And I thought that was pretty decent. You really could taste like the cereal in it, and I always thought that was pretty cool that they really got that note out in it that it really tasted like cereal, which is kind of crazy, you know.
You know what? When it comes to cereal vapes, let's see if I have. Yeah, I have it right here. This is one of my jams right there. Icing on the flakes. It when you hit that right wattage and that right build, it literally tastes like a bowl of frosted flakes. It is so awesome.
I know that juice has a lot of hype around it, but I never tried it, man.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to get your hands on icing on the flakes. That is one that Ashley, you got burned out on it. Yeah, I do. I rotate. The only ones that I always keep on me are my Dinner Lady lemon tart, and I do my strawberry, not strawberry, my Jam Monster PB and Jam. So I roll with those two are on constant, but everything else I try and rotate to try and keep it different.
Yeah, I think you almost have to because if you don't, I mean,
Yeah,
I'd like to say that I could vape one flavor all day, but I used to be able to. I felt like, but now if I vape one flavor all day, it just kills it, you know.
yeah. I think I pay for Duke. Wait, not Duke Nukem. Sorry, who said that? Louis. Nope. Robert Regan. Just letting you know. If you ever get tied up and you want to try it, literally the vape shop that I go to, the guy only charges me, I think it was $12 for a 100 ml bottle of icing on the flake. So I never pay full price.
What? How much is it a bottle?
When I first tried it, I picked it up on a group buy from Squonk America, and I think I paid $18 a bottle. I talked to the gift shop where I go, and he gives it to me at cost. So he doesn't make any profit on stuff I buy at his shop.
Well, I mean, that's nice that he does that for you. At our local shop right now, we have this thing. I don't know if a lot of shops do it or not, but it's like a mystery bag, and you can go in and buy it's a brown baggie, like a brown bag, and inside's 2 juices, but you don't know what it is. And they'll tell you on the outside if it's 3 milligrams or 6 milligrams. They'll at least tell you that. And I was thinking about just going up to the shop, getting a couple of those, and then doing some giveaways on them on my group.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, the only thing I'd tell them to change up is if you're going to do that, at least put on there, is it fruit flavors? Is it dessert flavors? Is it custard flavors? You know?
Yes, or if it's menthol or not menthol, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because I want to start doing that, though, because I feel like at least people will get to try different flavors. You know what I mean? And apparently I won't know if they're good or not, but I mean, at least people will get to try something. It'll be a cool little giveaway, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. You know what? I might get in on that and just, you know, pick some up and what did they throws out the hard to sell RDA and tanks and mods. Yeah, that's true. Billy said his shop does the same thing. They give away RDAs and stuff that they can't get rid of.
Well, I noticed that at my shop they had some discount RDAs. One of them was the Geek Vape. It was that mouth to lung RDA they made, but it wasn't. You didn't have to have mouth to lung if you didn't want it. It was the Amit RDA, and I was gonna pick it up. They only wanted $15 for it. I was gonna just pick it up just to try it, but I didn't.
I had Amit, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I really wasn't. The funny part is there's a little tiny shop, and it's tiny, down the road from me, and I stopped in there once just to check it out. But I noticed they have a lot of mods that from like 2012 to like 2014, those old 18650 stick mods that a lot of people are like hand checking right now. So it's and they're like $20-$30, and I was like, I should pick a couple up because they're selling like hotcakes in the buy sell trade threads right now.
What are they? Those
old stick mods with the Typhoon on top and stuff like that, 18350 stick mods and stuff like that. I really was thinking about grabbing a couple of them, but it was like, I don't want to go through the trouble.
What are they going for?
I saw a couple of them going for, I saw one, the guy had it for, I think it was $30, but I actually saw one in a buy sell trade thread for like $80. So I was like, that's a quick $50 in my pocket. But I was like, then I got to go through the trouble of going over, buying it. Then I got to ship it out. I was like, I didn't want to take the chance on it because I don't know if it was going to be a regular thing or if that was just a one-time deal. So,
Louis said in the chat that this can go up to 10 volts. You said the BF60D, the dicodes.
Yeah, I believe so.
See, I've been trying to get it to go up to that, man.
Yeah, I don't know dicodes at all. At all. I mean, I did have some DNA mods, but I did play around with the DNAs. I have a Vupu with the gene chip, but I didn't get that deep into it yet. I've been with mechs for so long, I can't go back.
No. Well, my battery's low, so maybe I'll try to switch out the battery.
There you go. That might be the problem. Put a VTC 5A in there.
I'm going to try out the Molly Cell 18650. Still says it's only going up to 4.1 volts.
Wait a second. What did he say? The dicodes doesn't show what volts it puts out. The volts it shows on the screen is your battery voltage drop.
Oh, that's what I thought that was, but because it's saying like, well, wait, is there a way to get it to show how many volts it's putting out? Can you change it through firmware upgrade? I don't know, though. I do feel like it puts out more consistent power than the DNA, though, because I'll be vaping at 30 watts on the DNA, but then I'll vape at 30 watts on the dicodes, and it feels like it's more powerful.
Yeah, I've seen that on a couple mods where you put it on one and you literally take the same build, the same RDA and everything, move it to another mod, and it's like, holy crap, it's like hitting it all brand new.
Someone just said I should make a 2-ohm coil. I mean, I'll try right now. I'll try it on a different RDA. I'll just put a bunch of wraps in something that I'm already using. Yeah, like I said, I don't know a whole bunch about dicodes. I've been trying to get it down so I can get the review out. But, I mean, so far it's all right. I don't feel like it's anything more special than anything else I have, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe just like the name behind it, you know? But I was talking to the guy from Limelight about it, and he said that that chip's kind of like a rare chip.
I honestly, and that's the thing is, I don't, when you guys, like the other week, when you guys started going into the DNA versus dicodes, I kind of stayed quiet because honestly, I've never even held the dicodes in my hand. I can only go by what I hear in the groups and what I hear in chats. So, I mean, but even so, I can't really speak on it because I would rather keep my mouth shut and let people think I'm stupid than open my mouth and remove all doubt. You know, it's kind of a trade-off there.
Nah, I get that, man. That's why I don't want to put the review out yet either, because I don't want to put a review out on something I'm uncertain about yet.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a data sheet for the dicodes though, so they kind of gave me a little bit of the specs on it, so I kind of understand it a little bit better, and it got me to be able to navigate the menu a little bit easier, because the menu was a little bit of a pain to learn at first.
Yeah.
But you know, you only vape unregulated, so that's not something you really ever worry about.
Correct. Yeah, I don't worry about that at all.
But rare chips sound weird, fictitious character said. Yeah, they're a little bit weird. Like, not like Lay's potato chips or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, ripped the wrong fucking juice in my mod.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say, William?
No, not really. I've been having one of those weeks, just quiet. Everything's been messed up in my world, so I'm trying to feel my way through. You know, I woke up this morning to my power steering gone in my car.
Oh,
So took the day off and decided to try and get it fixed.
what happened? It just went out?
It's been messing up for the past like 3 days, kind of like whining a little bit. And I was like, it's just low on fluid. I'll pick up some. And then I started finding puddles under my car. So I was like, all right, yeah, I guess this is serious now.
Game over, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
I seen somebody in the chat said we should get FC We and Louie on a show and watch the internet explode. I think that would happen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, all three of them can join right now if they want, and the internet will explode.
I am totally down. If any of you guys want to come on, try and add a third voice to this, you know, I am totally down.
Sure. Has fictitious character ever been on a show before? I've seen Louis.
I don't think I've ever seen fictitious character on.
No. All right. This coil's ohming out at 0.9. So let's see if I can get that to be.
I vape closer to 0.09.
Yeah. Well, this is probably the highest I've built in a while, or the low. Yeah, highest. What the hell's the deal, man?
So like we were talking about with the flavors and stuff, I dripped some of the icing on the flakes on this coil, and it actually is not that great in this mech, which is, I think it's a 0.12. But the Blackberry Crumble from Dinner Lady is amazing on this coil.
Someone said that if all three of them were on a show, they'd need more Jergens.
Wow. Break out the lotion.
Yep.
Don't even use Jergens. It might as well use that KY heating.
His and hers, man.
The his and hers KY. There you go.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this build on here.
I think Louis should do dual reviews for vape juice and hair conditioner at the same time.
Yes. like Head and Shoulders, man. All right, here we go.
Fictitious character. I actually like the icing on the flakes, but only on my higher ohm cooler coils. On this mod right here with the Alliance Evo on there, the icing on the flakes is kind of muted. But if I put it on something like this that has a 0.21 ohm coil on there, it'll run like a champ. So I think it's a matter of how much heat you're applying to the juice.
I agree. Louis said he'd join the chat, so I'm gonna send him a link real quick. So keep talking, Mr. William, while I do this.
Oh my God! Don't make me go by myself. I'll turn all retarded and I'll screw up.
I'm believing in you, okay?
I agree, Anthony. I agree with what you're saying.
Shit.
The DNA 60 was always a great chip. Always a great chip. And I'm talking all the way back to the original billet box. They were great.
Which chip?
The Neo. The DNA 60.
DNA 60 is cool. That's what's in this limo right here.
Sick boy. That Jenna, I actually really like it. My problem is I want to keep it on a mod and like use it as a daily thing, but it's not my Addy. So I'll put it on a mod, I'll vape it for a little bit, and then I take it off and I put it back on my build stand because it's not mine and I have to return it, and I don't want to return it with any scratches or dings, or I'll return it. It won't even have mouth gunk on it. Trust me, it'll look brand new when it goes back.
Yeah, what you were saying about the DNA 60, it's actually a very good chip, and not a lot of people really, recognize it,
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think tight foods in a billet box.
I just was never a fan of the billet box, man.
You know what? I had money left over from the Vegas show, and I wound up waffling off my Killer Gun BF, and it gave me just enough money to buy my billet box Duber with a vape shell. And I tell you what, no matter how I built that sumbitch, it didn't work. It sat on my shelf for like 3 weeks, and then I traded it away.
You waffled it off?
I waffled off the Killer Gun BF, that one that converts to a mini tube.
Yeah.
And I waffled that off. And then I traded the billet box for this right here, the Cycloid 2.1 Ultim with 2 sets of doors.
So what is waffle etiquette? What do you think is the proper way? Because I think after my review of this, I might sell it off.
I'll be honest with you. The way I did my waffle is, Scott and I discussed it because I waffled it in Squonk America. And what I did was I waffled it for exactly $10 over RRP from the company. So the mod itself was the mod itself was $250. What I did was I waffled it for $260. So after all the money came in, I made $260. That extra $10 I made actually went towards shipping it to the person who won the waffle. So
do you
we
think
made $3 on it.
do you think there's something wrong with wanting to make a profit off of something?
You know what? I have no problem with someone who wants to pull a profit, but when you have a 150 or even a $200 mod, and you're waffling it off with 4 step ups, and you're knocking down almost $500 for that thing, yeah, I got a problem with it, because you know what? It's you don't need to make a living off of our backs. And everybody's like, well, if you win, you got the mod for $10 or $20.
No,
And
that's true.
yeah,
you got something
but
very.
what about all those people who lost their money? What
Yeah,
about all those, for everything that goes out, 4 step ups at 10 people, and then the final, you're talking, there's 40 people out of their money
but you
that
gotta
you
think,
just
though,
built.
they took a chance. It's basically like gambling. You know what I mean?
I agree. And it's one of those, you pay your money, you take your chances.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But what my issue is uh, taking something that's $200 and waffling off for $500. That's just, you know what? That was why me and Scott, when we did my Killer Gun BF, we did it for exactly RRP plus shipping. And I only took $10 for shipping, and it cost me, I think it was $7 to ship it. So I'm not mad about that. It was just, you know what? Keep it honest. And a lot of people are coming out. I see, and it's this is not going to be a popular opinion, but for me, when you take $100 atomizer, which I've seen multiple of these in multiple different groups, $100 atomizer with 3 step ups, and you're making $300 on that. No offense, I see that as scamming. You're scamming everybody to make a living off of their back. And I don't agree with that.
You could also call it capitalism too, though. You could say that I have something.
No, it's capitalism, but in the same sense, it's also reaching into other people's pockets to line your own.
Well, I mean, because if you look, let's just say, something like this. This was a lot. It wasn't cheap. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they ain't cheap.
So if you were to want to make, I don't know, $100 on it, would that be charging too much?
No, I here's my thing I sell it for what I have no problem with selling it for what someone's willing to pay for it.
See, that's what I mean.
And I agree with that. But when you waffle something off, nobody's agreeing on that price. Everybody's thinking everybody's got it in their head that they're going to get this mod for $20, and that ain't happening. There's a lot of people going to be disappointed.
I've been in a couple I did one waffle before, and when I lost, I just felt like, all right, well, that was a waste of money. But then I felt like, I knew what the consequences could be. I knew that it could be I either win or I lose.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's what people are willing to pay for it. But when you shade it over, multiple step ups, people don't realize that, they just quintupled their money by adding 3 step ups to it.
Wait, what's a step up?
They sell 10 spots for a certain amount of money, and whoever wins that gets a spot in the final drawing. So then they run 4 step ups at $10 a piece for 10 spots. So that's $100. So you just made $400 on that. All right. And then they hold the final, which those 4 people all have spots. But now the other 6 people have to pay $40 a spot, So yeah, exactly. And Billy, my son, just said, you win 2 and then lose the final. You just paid a ton of money for nothing.
Well, I was on a certain Facebook group, and they only do waffles on this group, and they also do auctions too. But I seen one of them was for, I want to say it was for the Monarch RDA or for a Frankenskull mod, and there was 40 spots at, I want to say it was like $20 a piece or something.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
There,
man? How you doing today, man?
Today I'm good. Today's actually the first day I feel normal since I've gotten out of the hospital.
Well, welcome to the show for the first time, being on here live.
Oh, no,
Second time. First time
Sorry,
with you though, Steven.
That's a yes. First time with myself being here.
Yeah.
Now to go back to what you were saying, now an auction, I agree with the auction bit 100% because no offense, if say you, Louie, and I are bidding on a mod and it's $150 mod and I step up and say, you know what, I'm going to pay $300 and I knock that auction right into the ground. If I'm stupid enough to bid $300 for a $150 mod, you know what? I deserve every ripoff I get. You know, I agree with the auction side of it. I just don't agree with, you know, all these step ups and convoluted. And then you had, you know, the vapers tape gate where, you know, the Scotch tape on the ping pong balls that everybody was, you know, griping about for a while. And you had one of the guys who ran a waffle group openly admitted in a chat that his friends always win. He picks the winners.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed me off really bad.
Yep. You gotta be careful. I was gonna say, you just gotta be careful what you sell online too. If you sell certain things over RRP, depending on what group it is, you'll get kicked out or you'll get a warning. Even some modders, if they like NAR mods, if Nareg finds out you're selling one of his RDAs over RRP, and he finds out about it, you're out of the group. He'll kick you out. He despises flipping. And like whether you're go ahead.
No. I said, yep, I agree 100%. That's a better word than what I used. I said it's scamming, you know, getting, you know, tons of money over RP. But it's flipping. And no offense, flipping has become a very derogatory term in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you the same question I asked Bill. I don't know if you heard us talking about it, but what was exact? I asked him if there was something, if it was bad to waffle something off for a profit.
Personal profit or like a charity profit?
Well, let's just say you bought something at RRP, but you want to do a waffle and make like $100 on the product.
Gotcha. Okay. I got a view on this. Like me personally, I never sell over RRP. I just don't believe in it. What you choose to do with your own product, with your own money, that's your decision. My personal beliefs are I never sell over RRP. Last year when I went through a bunch of stuff in my house, I needed to sell off a lot of stuff quickly to get the money for repairs. I sold all my NAR mods products at RRP plus shipping.
Yeah.
I had guys PMing me within like 30 seconds of putting up those posts, offering me like $500, $700 for certain RDAs I had, and I told them all no. I had guys who emailed me before you did for taking it for the price I sold them to, which was like $110 and stuff. So yeah,
that's integrity right there. Integrity.
Yeah. Yep. So like that's just my personal beliefs. But if like whatever you choose to do with your own money, with whatever you own, that's your decision. I won't look down on you either way.
See,
no, I agree. Go ahead.
I've sold a couple of my things, but I've never sold them for over RRP. I've usually gave people a deal on what I've sold them, and usually, I'll even just ask for $5 for shipping, and that usually doesn't cover shipping. You know what I mean? I'll usually say
if you make a couple bucks on it, it's if someone's willing to pay that, that's fine. But if you have, and I keep going back to the same analogy, if you have $150 mod and I see it posted in a group for $350, I'm going to think you're an idiot or an asshole, one or the other.
Yeah, but you look at, this is probably a asterisk type situation, but those Frankenskull mods, man, I see them on certain like Facebook groups, and they go for such ridiculous prices. And I think to myself, why, man? They can't be that much better than anything else, and they can't be that. I get it; it's the name, but
yeah.
Some of them.
We talked about the other week. there's so much hype around certain addies and mods
Mm-hmm.
that people are willing. They just gotta have it. They don't think.
Yep. Certain mods and addies, they just get that hype train built up around them. You know, some more deserving than others. But like talking about the Franken-Skull, I've owned a couple Frankies, and you're right. There's no difference between print quality is one thing, but performance wise, you know, there's no difference between that and a mod dog and any other high end 3D printed box mechanical mod. There's really no difference. The only difference is Franken-Skull was one of the first to do it, and their marketing scheme was genius for how they did it.
Sure.
And that built up their hype. You have to give them that. They were genius with how they went about it.
Well, they have a good looking product too, with a good logo, a good, just marketing was very on their side on that one.
Well, we were laughing because they had in Vegas, the last show that they had here in Vegas. I sat there, dude. You had to win. You had to pay for a chance.
Oh yeah.
To be in the auction, and if you didn't win, you didn't get in on the auction. And they were auctioning off a Frankie. And I tell you what, I sat there with my jaw hanging open, collecting flies. When I saw that go, it sold for $6,500.
That's what I mean, man.
I was like, "Are you?"
That's the craziness.
Yeah.
But look, you look at something like that, and then you look at other products. Some products have a window of time to where they'll make extra money, or they'll, you know, sell for RRP, or even get your money back if you don't like it. But then there's products like that will always sell and always make your money back if you want to sell it. And it's like they have that power with their brand.
Yep, the companies that. Sorry, I'm just going to say the companies that, the ones that you know, you buy a product and you can sell it in either like a year or two later and get your money back on or make more, like the ESG Skyline. You know, that RTA has been out for over 2 years now, and people are still paying over RRP for it because the product's good. It's got a pedigree that people know that they buy this thing and they've never owned one before. They know they're going to get a good vape out of it if you like RTAs, you know. Just using that one as an example. It just depends on the pedigree, the word of mouth behind the product.
I had a friend who had a Frankie, and no offense, between you and I, my Cloak V2 hit better than that Frankie. And I thought that was weird. You know, I was like, these guys are paying thousands of dollars for this mod, and my $220 Cloak V2 hits better. I just thought it was really, really, that's why, and that's what started my mentality of, I don't buy into hype. I really don't give a crap. I'll wait until the hype dies down and I'll pick it up for cheaper.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, it's nice if you see something that's like that's real hyped up and you just get lucky enough to go out and grab it. That's a cool feeling to be like, all right, cool. You know, 'cause I just fell into an REA. You know, that's got a lot of hype around it right now. But back on track, it's the hype train. There's certain people out there that see a hyped up RDA and or mod, and like that's what they have to have. That's what gives them enjoyment. Performance, if it performs or not, that's like regardless of the fact, that doesn't really matter to them. They just want to have it because that's what everybody wants. You know.
I did that when I go ahead.
For me, it's a little different because I got to pick something up quickly because I got to get a review out on it, and I got to get it out in a time frame to where it's relevant and that people are going to want to watch it, so that, you know, I get a good, you know, just a good amount of views on it. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I made it for nothing. I made the video for nothing. You know?
Definitely.
No, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is as a reviewer, you got to get it fast. But the problem is sometimes the amount of money you got to put out, you know, does the end justify the means? You know, you're putting out a lot of money to get that item, you know, because I did that with my Bliss. When the Blisses were hot, I was trading back and forth. And I finally got my Bliss. And when I had it in my hand, I was like, fuck, it's a great mod, but I don't think it was as good as everybody led me to believe it was.
Like I've had experiences like that before where it's like, I want this thing. I don't care. I don't care. I just want it. And then you get it and you're so happy when you see that package in the mailbox. You're like, yes. And you open it up and you build it or you set it up or whatever. And then it's like, is this it? Really? Is this what I've been killing myself to try and get? And this is the experience I'm getting off of it. Oh yeah, those times are priceless. They teach you a lesson, you know.
You build it and you do the old Joe Pesci. You're like, motherfucker.
Yep, exactly. Like with me though, I'm dogged. When I get a new RDA or RTA, I'm dogged. I have this thing where it's like I'll put like 4 or 5 builds and one RDA the first day. If I think it's got promise, like if I think I know it's got potential, like with the RDA, I'm not gonna lie, the first build I threw in it was okay, but it was nowhere near as good as the other Narmod products. Do another build in it. I was like, yeah, this is a little better. Finally, I'm like 8 or 9 builds into it, only owning it a week, and now I'm like, oh, okay, there she is. You know, when I first got the Nardo way back in the day, it took me about 10 builds to figure it out why everybody was talking about it so much. Because when I first built it, I'm like, why is everybody talking about this RDA so much? It's not that good. And then 10 builds in, I finally figured it out. Oh, okay.
See, but I don't think everybody's willing to put in the time to find a good build.
Depends on the person, you know. Like,
Yeah.
some people just want to be able to throw a build in and go. Some people are like me, or they want to see what the modder had in mind for the RDA. You know, there's an RDA for everybody. Some people, I mean, there's some RDAs that you throw a build in, and no matter what, it's going to vape good. There's other RDAs out there that a modder created, and he had a single vision in mind. This is how I want my RDA to perform. And if other people like it and other people get it, then good. If not, oh well. It's my creation. So with RDAs like that, like the Narda, like the Convergent, you got to kind of go outside yourself and think, okay, what does the modder have in mind for this particular item? And then you'll start figuring it out. Like the Convergent, I had a tough time with that one at first until I realized, wait a minute, this thing performed better at like 0.9, 1 ohm. You know,
yeah.
And you got to set the coil high. It took me a couple builds to figure that out. And it was only till then I realized, wait a minute, I'm thinking about what I want this thing to run like. Let me think about what the modder wanted this thing to run like. And certain RDAs, you think like that, you give yourself a second to think, then you'll figure it out.
Well, of course, you got to take time to figure it out. It's not like you're going to put one build in it, go, oh, this build sucks, and then throw the RDA out.
Exactly, you know? Yes.
See, the Convergent for me, that's how it was for me actually too. I put a different type of build in there than I put in anything else.
Yep.
I ran about a 0.7 to a 0.8 in it, and it does very well. And I ran out of the type of wire I like for that one, so I got to get some because I've tried other builds in it, and it doesn't. I don't know, man. It doesn't make the juice taste like it did with the other build, which is crazy, you know. When you just think about one particular aspect throws it off by that much.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the thing with these high-end RDAs is they point you in one direction where like mass market, they're like Swaggins, my boy Swaggins said it the best. They're aiming for like this big gap down the middle to appease as many people as possible. The RDAs that we enjoy, they're aiming for this tiny little narrow margin of people, and each one is particularly different. That's why we all probably have like 5 or 6 RDAs that we love because each one does something different. Each one is tailored to a different style. You know, like some days I'll vape on my Hellfire stuff more. Some days I'll vape on my Skyfall more. Just depends on my mood and what I'm vaping and what build I have going on in that thing.
Believe it or not, this Brizo with the Alliance Tech Evo, I only vape this when we live stream. Otherwise, it sits here. It's the same way. For me, it's literally like my cloak is my morning mod. When I wake up in the morning, I'm hitting my cloak. Mid-afternoon, it's usually the Taiji or my geometric.
Are you Batman?
Yes, I'm Batman.
You have a cloak?
Yeah, I got my cloak. My cloak V2. I love Batman. This thing.
Oh, well, I think that speaking on Hellfire, I actually I have on pre-order right now the RDTA Maverick, the Maverick RDTA.
Nice, me too.
Where did you pick it up at?
UVape. UVape has them, yeah.
I've never checked out that site. I'm going to have to check it out.
I always wanted a Sentinel, but they're like, easier time getting a glass of ice water in hell than getting most people to separate with them.
Really? Like I love the Sentinel. It's no secret. Last one I got up in like within like 5 hours of me posting I want to buy ad. I got 3 people message me, hey, I got a Sentinel. You know, no extra caps or anything, but yeah, try it. And I got it for a good price too, like $80. Like they're going pretty cheap if you know pull it out and wait for a good one.
They look great.
Yeah.
So wait, are their products more open or are they restricted?
Now, Hellfire is very open. But what's good about Hellfire is you have some RDAs, because I like a tight restricted draw. Some RDAs, like they're geared towards more open, but they can do a closed down airflow, but it doesn't do it good. Hellfire seemed to manage this thing, is crazy magic that Daring does. You can have an open draw and it vapes great that way. You can have a draw where I like it, very nice, tight, restricted, and it still works perfectly, like it was meant to be that way. Like the Maverick. Yeah, the Maverick vapes that way. You can vape that thing wide open, or you can close the gates down and vape it almost MTL. The Sentinel is the same way. You know, you can vape that thing wide open, lung busted, or you can close it down 3/4 like I do and vape it, and it vapes just like a Narda.
I was gonna say I like it closed down a little bit, kind of like the way the Citadel vapes. I like it closed down like that. It's my golden area.
Yep.
See, just sitting here right now, I just tried this new build in here, and it finally is producing flavor at 0.95, which I'm imagining is probably where they wanted it to be, up in the higher resistances.
What's that one?
It's the Lay Hypersonic.
Oh, I saw Todd do a review on that. Gotcha.
And I've had this thing probably 3 months, and I've not been able to get flavor out of it. And today, I finally got it to produce something.
That's because you had Louie's good vibes helping you out.
Yeah. I'm just hey, I'm just happy that it's actually producing for once, man, because it was just sitting there for the longest time.
I have certain RDAs and RTAs up on my shelf, and I call it the shelf of oh man, what do I call it? They just sit up there and they mock me pretty much. Like I'll get so frustrated with trying to build them because I know there's potential there, but I just can't figure it out. So I sit them up on the shelf for a while, and they sit there and they stare at me till one day I get a bug up my ass, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna build this thing and I'm gonna figure it out. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, though. So
yeah, I mean, that's how I am right now with the solo RDA. I just can't get the right, man.
Love the solo, but it's one of those RDAs again that has a sweet spot. I was supposed to show Pal a little build course with how I build my solo, because that solo, I love that thing. It's because I'm one of them crazy people that loves manual adjusted 510, so I can line up my airflow just right.
Sure.
Like I have to have my airflows pointed a certain way on mods.
See,
I like solo, but it was always so freaking hot. Yeah, I couldn't get that thing to stop burning my lips.
Yeah, you got to have your coil position just right for that not to happen. And also, the solo doesn't work that good on manual adjusted 510s. It works better on spring loaded 510s, so you can push down and get the leverage you need to spin the RDA around. Because otherwise, if you do that, the pin doesn't go in enough, and it binds up the O-ring that's inside to allow the RDA to spin.
See, now I want to get the review done for it because I find that RDA to be very, it's very unique in the way that I feel like it is. It has a lot of things that are very, what the hell is the word I'm looking for? The way that it has two different styles of airflow in it, first of all, that right there is unique in and of itself. And I think that when doing a review, those are the kind of things that I want to show off. Even if I don't particularly like the RDA, I think that those features of it are something that's overlooked. And I don't necessarily like the part where, because it'll short for me sometimes because of the feature on the bottom. And then I won't be able to get it back to where it should be, but then I get it later and it gets annoying and then I get frustrated.
When it shorts on you, do you have it on a manual adjusted 510 or spring loaded? Because the only other time I had it mess with my resistance is when I try to run it on a manual adjusted 510.
I try to use it on a spring loaded because I've seen that sentiment in the past where if you put it on a manual, it won't be.
Yeah, and the thing with the solo too is you can't use it in the unlock position. It's got to be in one of them spots where you can adjust the airflow to point it where you want to, or it needs to be fully locked, and you won't have any resistance problems either.
See, I didn't use it for the longest time. Then I put a poll up in my group what you guys would like to see me review next. And that was like the overall #1 over choice right now was the Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, man, like I said, I've had it probably for about that RDA I've had for about 5 months. And it's just been sitting there. And I wanted to do a review on it, but I never got around to it. So that's why I'm going to try to do a review. Because a lot of people think, well, hey, it should vape just like the basic 1.1, but that's not true.
No, I have both of those RDAs, and the Solo vape completely different to the basic, you know?
Yep.
Like 2 completely different RDAs. And it also could just be a case where, like, me and you, Steven, have very similar vape habits. We both vape high resistance, lower wattages. We both like a restricted draw. I love the Solo. It just may be a case where it's just personal preference. You just may not be an RDA for you. You know, it could be that too.
But like I said, I do think it is a very good review piece. I think that it has a lot of things that people should see if they haven't already, because I'm sure it's been reviewed a lot.
And like as a reviewer, I'm sure you get this crap a lot where just because an RDA is not your style or not to your taste, and you give it a bad review, you probably get attacked a lot in the comments. Like, oh my God, I love this RDA. You're crazy, this and that. Like, it's not that you hate it. It's just not your vape style.
Well, I can say that my channel is becoming bigger because I had my first troll. And yes, he does. He subscribed to me with the sole purpose of trolling all my videos. And that is that voice that you're talking about. And I wondered to myself, why subscribe to me if you're just going to troll me? And but then I said, you know what? It's one of the perks of the job.
It's a subscriber. Who cares?
Yep. Hey, I didn't shout out the chat recently, but Tenacious TX Vapes, I seen him in the chat. Hello. Carlos Ramirez, and if I'm missing some people, I apologize, but I believe those are the only 2 people that joined. John Galloway, how you doing, man? But
Swaggins is in chat.
Yes, I think he's been in here for a while, but I'll shout him out as well. Hello, Mr. Swaggins.
Get some chicken soup, Stan. Feel better.
He's not feeling well.
He's got that expo cold thing going on, probably.
Yeah.
Is it a man flu?
Man flu.
Wait, Black Cat Whiteface said he's the troll.
He's here to troll.
Yes, and then We609 said, I'm sorry, I'll shape up. No, you 2 trolls are not the trolls I'm talking about. I'm talking about a 3rd troll.
Damn, you better get some better content then. Someone got above you.
Yep, you got to start trolling it up, man.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna mention something. Somebody said Expo Fever. Do you know? I'm gonna tell you something hilarious. All right, being in the medical field for as long as I have, I did one thing, and everybody laughed at me when I did it, and that was I got a 10-day supply of Augmentin antibiotics, and I took them every day leading up to the vape show because I knew I was going to be in an enclosed area with a bunch of people, and there's germs everywhere. That was my main thing. I did not want to get sick with all those people.
Eric just joined the chat. It's nice of you to finally show up there, buddy boy. Always just being late. Always late, man. Have you guys heard everything
doing on his phone while he was on the ride from the airport to home?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but the conversation you guys were having before I came on about the diodes BF60 and the 80, they are definitely 10 volts. The 4.5 that everybody keeps referring to is the max voltage your battery can be at to put it into your diodes board for it to work. There are certain batteries out there that can charge at 4.5 volts. They're not very high amperage batteries, so they're not used a lot in vaping, but a diode board will work with that battery.
So does that mean that, because I seen Jay's video where he said that it doesn't go up that high, so that was wrong then.
Yeah, that was wrong. What happened, I'm going to send you something real quick. I mean, it's the data sheet for the diodes board, but at the very top, there is the, what's it called? Real quick, hold on.
I want to say thank you to Mr. Carlos Ramirez. He says he loves my vape style, review style,
Right, here it is.
and I want to say thank you for that. That is
All right.
my ego large. Thank you.
Send this to you. All right, I sent you that picture. Okay, at the very top of the picture, it says single battery operation is 2.6 volts to 4.5 volts. A lot of people are getting that confused with the actual voltage output of the mod. Where I have that black line underneath, it says output voltage 10 volts max. That's the actual voltage that the board can put out.
So, what would you have to build at to get it to put out the maximum voltage?
Well, it's a 10 amp, 18 amp max on this board. So let's go to a little. Where's my Ohm's law calculator? All right, so resistance. Let's see, current 18 amps, voltage 10 volts. You would need a 0.55 resistance. That would give you 18 amps at 10 volts. Your output wattage would be 180 watts.
All right, everybody. Thank you for attending our electrical engineering class. There will be a test next week.
Yes, there will be a test next week.
This one, it only goes up to 60 watts, though. So how could
exactly? It says it only goes up to 60 watts. So I guess it wouldn't give you the full 180 watts, but it's only 18 amps. So I don't know. Go put a 0.55 ohm build on your diodes, set it at the max wattage, and see what it pumps out. I mean, there's no way to control the voltage on a diode board, so you probably couldn't get 180 watts out of it. But yeah, it's definitely a 10 volt board.
Yeah, I think Robert's pretty spot on. About a 2 ohm build would be pretty hot on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, because like I said, I got this 0.95, so I'm sure if I put that on there, I could probably get some power out of it.
Like I got my diodes right here. My diodes powered Shadow, and I got a because it doesn't give you no voltage that it's putting out, just the voltage drop of your battery. I got a 0.81 build on my Skyfall at 35 watts. So let's see, 35 watts, 0.81. I'm at 0.47 volts, so it's definitely over the 0.45 volts people are saying. So
I think it was just confusion, man.
Yeah, that's it. It's just having those two voltage numerals so close together. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's only a 4.5," and some people are saying, "No, it's 10." It's definitely 10. I vape, like I said, I vape at a higher resistance, lower wattage. So that means I need a lot of volts to power my vapes.
How does the other diodes board look? It looks different.
The 80?
Yep.
It looks pretty much the same. It's a little bit thicker. So a lot of modders don't use it because it's thicker, so it takes up more space inside the mod, which makes your mod bigger. A lot of people just prefer the BF60, which is the one I like the most because I hardly ever go over 35 watts. You know, my single coils, I'm at 35 watts. Dual coils, I might hit 40 to 45.
See, that's how you already know that's how I am as well.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the diodes puts out a more consistent power then?
I do. Like diodes BF60 is my favorite. DNA 60 is my second favorite. I like diodes. To me, it gives you real time, up to date. It tells you what your ohms are all the way through the vape. You see your ohms fluctuate every time you hit the button, and every quarter of a second, it updates the board to your output and updates your wattage to give you a consistent vape that you have it set for. You know, it just feels smoother to me. And temp control on a diodes board is killer. It doesn't even feel like you're using temp control. You just set it.
I got an example of both right now. I got the DNA 60 on the right and this on the left. And I'm putting 32 through this and 30 through this, and they feel about the same. And I got about the same resistance in both, you know?
Yeah, because like with me, any DNA has a slight, unless you have the boost and stuff messed with, if you're just messing with the DNA straight standard, I feel like there's a ramp up to get to your wattage, like for the first half a second. With the diode, you just hit that button and it's automatically going. You know, you're at whatever wattage you have it set to within that split second.
Well, we got a little bit of a rumble in the chat. Hello, Mr. J. Hayes. How you doing there, friend? He says, I want to bet it doesn't reach 10 volts, Louis. Put a 1.6 build on it, hit it at 60 watts. That would be about 10 volts. I'll show you a test proving it doesn't get close to 10 volts. And hello, Mr. Evdoros.
I mean, like I said, I don't know die codes, but would it really be the first time a vape product made a claim that it couldn't stand up to?
No, I mean,
honestly,
not with this. I wouldn't think not with this board, because that's what it's so evolved around, is the fact that it puts out so much voltage.
I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't know die codes. I run mechanical on everything. So, you know, but to hear like Jay is saying it won't do 10 volts, but you're saying it's built to do 10 volts. It's like kind of one of those things, you know, it's maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be, or, you know, maybe it is, it just can't get there and it set a bar too high for itself.
To be honest, man, this is my first die codes, and I was talking to the modder of Limelight, and they said that this board is, you know, it's a good board and it's a rare board, he said. So that's really all I know about it right now. I know how to navigate the menu now. I know all that stuff, but for the review wise, I don't know what I'm going to say about the voltage. So I guess you could technically say that they're both right, I guess, right?
I'm just going over personal experience with that board. I know that I vape anywhere between 4.5 volts and 6 volts on any given DNA, because you actually see the voltage readout on them.
Sure.
I put the same RDA on my die code, set it for the same wattage, and I get the same exact vape experience. You know, I even have to turn my die codes boards down a little bit because it feels like it's a little bit more powerful than a DNA. So I know just by vaping like that it's putting out the same voltage, if not a little bit more than the DNA is. You know, just off personal experience.
Sure. I don't know, man. I'm looking at all my mods right now, and, you know, since the DNAs really tell you what your vaping voltage at, I don't know, man. I never seem to go over 4 volts. I'm at about 3.7 volts.
Yeah.
On most of them. But I don't know, you know. I
like on this DNA, I have my Project X at 4.8 volts. If you can see it.
And what's your resistance at?
0.9. And I can put this Project X on my Shadow, and it's going to give me the same vape. I've done it a few times. If I have to, hopefully I don't have to adjust the pin. But yeah, I mean, it's going to. Let's see if it'll work. Probably not.
Probably not when it counts.
Oh, it's screwed down.
I've never really been that concerned about volts myself. I know what I vape at, and I know usually the power that I like, watts wise. But for volts, it's never really been something I've been too concerned about.
The vape's hotter on the die code at the same wattage, 25 watts. And it just feels a little bit warmer, so I would have to turn this down to 23.
See, now Jay put that in an analogy that I can read. It's brake horsepower. You know, the amount of horsepower you're going to get at the engine is totally different than the amount of power you're going to get at your differential versus the amount of power you're going to get at your transmission. So.
Talking about like voltage drop and stuff, every mod's going to have voltage drop, whether it's, you know, regulated or not. I can get that analogy.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you're going to get it is if it's hardwired all the way through.
Yeah, it might not put out an exact 10 volts, you know, I would doubt it, but it definitely puts out more than 4.5 volts. I just think a lot of people see that manual and see the top letter where it's saying, you know, the output 4.5, that's just talking about the certain cell that can power this device.
So I don't really know a lot about it, but what would be the exact test of showing it? Could you hook it up to something?
Yeah, I mean it's a flat DC signal, so if you had like a multimeter and
Yeah.
hooked it up, you know, or a little voltage thing that they used to sell that you screwed on top of your mech mods, it would read it, you know. It's not pulse width or anything, so.
Well, I guess I'm still gonna have to take some more time with this die codes before I put a review out. I'm gonna have to check the video out. Jay said he has a video of showing how to test voltage drop and battery sag. I'll check that out. I've never, like I said, I've never delved into that part of it, so I'm gonna have to check that out. But the crazy thing is, I think I need to pick up some stuff like that because I was sent some batteries to test out from the Rely On wholesale, and the only real tests I can do right now are put it in a regulated device compared to another battery that people really know. But I don't think that's a fair review. I don't think that's going to be an accurate enough review.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that do voltage drop tests on their channel, and they always get bashed in the comments like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong. Oh, you're doing it like this. You should do it like this." You know, I don't really pay attention to that stuff either. You know, more personal experience, like what you actually felt using that device. That's what, for me, that's what matters more than anything else. You know, especially if you connect with a reviewer. You know, that's why it's good having a lot of you guys reviewing these high-end things now, like you and Todd and all the others. Is there's so many different experiences you can go off of, and if you find a reviewer that you connect to, that you think vapes like you do, you have more of a chance of matching his experience with your experience, you know, and going out and buy that device, not wasting your money on a device that you don't know if you're gonna like or not.
Well, that's how I was with this, because I changed it from a DNA 75C to this. And in some aspects, I'm happy that I did that, just because personally, I don't like a DNA 75C with an 18650. I like it with a 21700 or 2700. And I've noticed that the battery life on this device is a whole hell of a lot better than a DNA 75C with an 18650, which I'm happy about, you know, because I can't stand a DNA 75C with an 18650. I seen somebody talking about Molly cells in the chat. I actually I have the 18650 Molly cells, but I want to try out the 21700, 2700 ones.
I'll have to try and get you my one of my Golices out. See how you like that.
But are those actual? I mean, are they rewraps of something else? Or do they make their own batteries?
No, Golice's its own company.
Yeah, I just wonder, because sometimes you just don't know if they're rewraps or if they're regular. Just, I don't know, because there's only a couple companies that truly make batteries, you know?
Yeah.
Well, getting off that topic and talking about something that's coming in the mail to me right now is, I don't know if you guys seen the RDA, NVIDIA RDA, the NVIDIA.
The NVIDIA, no.
It's it has removable airflow inserts on both sides. It's let's see if I can get a picture up of it. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh wait, I think I know who you they made I'm in that group. I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, well, Customs decided that they weren't going to let me have it, and they sent it back.
Oh no.
Ooh,
so yes, it does suck completely.
I had a review coming for Gorgon Spirit E-Juice, the liquid, and the guy sent me out a bottle and the box and everything, and he said the box came back to him with it opened. I was like, really? So I'm waiting for him to send out a new one now.
This is it, and it actually comes in a pretty nice box for what it was.
Yeah, I saw Todd reviewed that a couple weeks ago.
Yes, and I had mine on the way, and like I said, it was stuck in Customs for almost a week, and then they sent it back. I don't know why they sent it back, but these are the kind of products that I really like to review just from aesthetically. They took time to make that box at least something, you know, worth opening. I know boxes aren't like super cool or nothing, but I like when they make aesthetically nice looking packages and boxes.
You know what my favorite packaging is from a company? The pink bubble wrap that you get with old Hellfire gear. Nothing got me more happy than to open up a box from the Royal Mail box and open it up and you see that pink bubble wrap because you know you're about to get a Hellfire product in that pink bubble wrap. They've moved away from it now. They got these fancy little metal tins, but I don't know. There's something about that pink bubble wrap that used to just awesome.
What do they come in now?
Like little metal tins with like a Hellfire sticker on top. Their mods come in like what are those plastic snap cases called? Can't remember. Yeah, they're plastic like purge uses. Like they come in those kind of
Pelican boxes.
Yeah, like the regulated mods, like the Phantom that came in like a nice wooden box, so did the Shadow. But yeah, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. All their stuff used to come wrapped up in pink bubble wrap. And when you sold one of their products, if you didn't have the pink bubble wrap with it, that would knock off like $100. Like people wanted that pink bubble wrap secondhand, so you better keep it.
So I've kind of asked you guys. I mean, you think Hellfire is worth what they ask in price value?
Oh yeah,
100%. I would love. I hunted one of their. I almost. What's that skunk they put out that had the lines down the side of it that Hellfire put out?
The Cobra. Or
I think it was the Cobra.
They have the Cobra and the Venom.
The Venom. I was gonna trade my billet box with $100 on top for a Venom, and the guy bailed out on me. He was like, "Oh, it's my shelf queen. It stays up. I don't use it." But he would not part with that fucking thing.
Yeah, my boy FC. He got one. He loves it. So I know he was hunting one for a while too. And it uses, I think it's a 21700 or 2700. I can't remember which one it uses.
The Venom was a 21700.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this is gonna be my first Hellfire product, so I'm just kind of nervous because it cost a good bit,
Yeah,
so I don't like it.
We in chat is right. Hellfire is an either hate or love kind of thing. You either hate it or you love it. There's no in between with Hellfire gear. If you hate it, luckily there's about 1,000 people that will buy it from you instantly. But yeah, you either love the product or you hate. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, not every Hellfire product that was put out I've loved. Like the Strike, I just did not like the Strike. It was too tall, and it just did not vape the way I wanted. The Maverick, on the other hand, was everything the Strike should have been, in my opinion.
Well, I know that there's already a stigma around RDTAs in general. A lot of people don't understand them. A lot of people don't like them. So that's why me personally, I like RDTAs. I don't use one anymore, but I used to only use those, and I'm kind of excited to try a new one. So I want to see how it's gonna vape because I know I like RDTAs.
Yeah, me,
I one of the new ones because I was vaping RDTAs back before Limitless got themselves fucked up with iJoy, and then had to pull their stuff back. I love the original Limitless RDTAs. They were bomb.
Yeah, like me, like that when I first started vaping. There were Jenny Addies with mesh. So I learned how to build a mesh. I still use my mesh atomizers, my RSM Rocket, my Doodlebug, my Kraken. I still use all the Addies on a daily basis. I love mesh, steel cable, all that stuff. But see, I hate dripping. I don't like the whole thing of having to unscrew your bottle every time you want to soak your cotton up. When they brought out these RDTAs, for me to use a mech mod, an RDTA just makes sense because it's like a dripper on top of a tank. You get the same flavor just without having to freaking drip all the time. And as long as you know how to wick it, and the way I wick my RDTAs is I roll up some steel mesh, put it in the wick holes, and just set your cotton on top of that mesh. And the juice literally wicks up the mesh, soaks your cotton, and you'll never have to worry about having an issue with dry hits on an RDTA. I think Todd even has a video on how he wicks his RDTAs, and I wick mine exactly the same way.
I've seen it.
Yep.
That's where you and I differ a little bit. I've never used mesh in the wick holes, but I no matter what RDTA it is, for the most part, the Flav RDTA was a little bit different because of the way they had the wick holes. But I just set the cotton literally just resting in it. It doesn't go any further than that, and I've never had a dry hit.
Yeah. Yep. You can do it that way too. There's some people say, "Oh,
that's the easiest way." I did mine where it just came through the tip, just a hair.
Yeah, I know. I'm pumped for all these RDTAs coming out because they'll let me use my mech mods again.
You could consider this to be an RDTA, but it's like a untraditional RDTA. But I guess it technically kind of is one.
Who is it? Wicked's coming out with a new one right now, right?
Yes, and that thing looks cool, man.
DNV has the Venom coming out. The Maverick RDTA is coming out. The Prestige RDTA is coming out. There is a boatload of RDTAs coming out, and there's more than that than I just named.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm really looking forward to the Venom. The Venom RDTA that's coming out looks amazing.
If you think about it, though, most RDAs could be transferred into RDTAs.
Oh yeah,
any of them technically could. And if you think about it, some of them the chamber becomes reduced, so you would think that the flavor would be better on some, because you're going to have to get rid of some chamber space to make it not so tall for the most part. You think that maybe that would add flavor to it. That's why I'm excited about the Wicked RDTA. I I'm rocking it right now on the Limo. But yeah, I like RDTAs. I think they have their place, and I'd like to see a resurgence in them, man. It'd be cool to see people actually picking them up and using them.
Oh yeah, well, I definitely think we're about to see a big surge with the companies I've named, and I'm sure there's a lot more other companies have them planned. They'll be bringing them out this summer, so it's gonna be a really interesting summer. If it's
there's bobbers out there watching the waves and seeing which way they're going.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people think that RDTAs are stupid, but I like squonkable RDTAs. I think they make the most sense. You get 2 extra mils of juice from the jump, then you can squonk the tube full. You don't have to worry about filling it up. I like it,
Dude, that's why when the split Addy first came out, it was the first RDTA that could squonk. And you can either squonk it or you can fill it up through between the positive post. When that thing first came out, it blew my mind. I was like, this is awesome. I can use my squonkers and have an extra 2 or 4 mils of juice, depending if you have the 24 extension or not.
I still have a pin down RDTA right on my build bench right now.
Yep, the pin dad came out. Right? Yeah, the pin dad was awesome. I loved it. I still have it somewhere. I gotta bust it out. I love that.
That little thing gives great flavor for such a tiny little Addy.
Well, speaking on something else, today and for the last week, I've been trying to get mesh to work as my wicking material as opposed to the coil material, I guess. And I cannot get this shit to work, and it's really irritating.
Using mesh as your coil?
As the wicking material.
Oh, dude, I have a step-by-step guide. I walk people through this all the time because I have people send me their Jennies that want them built and set up a mesh wick for them. I got a step-by-step guideline I could send you.
Well, I'm trying to use it in an RDA. I'm trying to use it as
that works too, no matter what. Like, you get your mesh, you cut it, and in an RDA it's actually a little bit easier if you don't really have that much measuring to do. You cut it, you roll it, you burn it first to get off the, whatever oils or anything on it.
See, I got all that. Like the pre-steps, I think I'm good. But it's just getting it to, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not using the right actual coil to wrap around it, or
to oxidize it. Do you when you roll it up, do you soak it with some VG or the liquid you're going to use, burn that liquid off, and then drip it again, burn that liquid off, because that builds up a nice oxidation coat on it.
I do it about three times.
Okay, cool. And then so you're having trouble with it just wicking to your coil when you install.
Well, I think the issue is that I'm not using the right type of coil around it.
That could be it.
Or that I'm wrapping it too tightly.
Yep, that could be it.
That I'm not getting the right resistance down, because when you're using mesh as a wick, you're not really supposed to blast it with power, right? I mean, it's supposed to be...
Oh, my Kraken, I have it, it's a 0.43 dual coil. So you can get mesh the wick really good at a lower resistance. Like, that's not it. But it's the thing of wrapping your mesh, not having it so tight that it chokes it off, because mesh can get choked off really easy. Also, the type of gauge wire you use. Some some thicker wires like 26 gauge. That's not really good to use on mesh. It heats up too fast and it dries it out too fast. 28's about as low as I go using mesh.
Well, so you think 24 gauge is not adequate?
Yeah, no, 24 gauge heats up and it holds the heat so much that it just dries out your mesh. 28 gauge is about, for me anyways, is about as low as I go, and it vapes perfectly. And you can use 28 gauge stainless steel, nichrome, any of that. If you want to get your resistance a little bit lower, use like a 28 gauge stainless steel. You can even use 28 gauge Clapton wire stainless steel. That'll work too. Just the density of that coil material that really makes a difference. And getting
the next thing, you can use Claptons with it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. I think I'm going to ask you to send me that step-by-step guide. I think I'll have to check that out.
I'll do it.
I've never done that.
Yeah. I just had a guy. I was in the hospital before I went to the hospital. He sends me his Jennies all the time, and he sent me about 15 next eras, next gens, a couple of rockets for me to build for him over the next month. I build them up for him and I send them right out to him. And about 6 months later, he sends me them all back over again. And the great thing about mesh is you never have to really take that mesh out. You just, when you want to like burn the coil off or whatever, you just inject some water into it, burn that water off, do it again, burn it off, and your coil and your mesh wick are just fine. You never have to really mess with it.
That's the next tutorial I want to do is, building with mesh as you're wicking, because I feel like a lot of people don't. I mean, from what I did today in the past week, I had a split second where I really got good flavor from it, and then it ended up not being great after that. And I really felt like it brought out different notes in this juice right here that I was using.
I was just going to say something about that. Mesh is real juice dependent. It does good with tobaccos, menthols, and fruity vapes. If you want to vape like a dessert or custard on mesh, you're not going to get the best experience out of it.
Well, I usually only vape fruit flavor. Yeah. I think that won't be a problem.
Yeah, you'll be good with that.
So I'm going to keep giving it a shot, man. I'm going to pick up some smaller, or I guess, smaller gauge wire.
Yeah, pick up some like 28 gauge, 29 gauge wire, Canthar stainless steel from Kidney Puncher. It's like $3.99 for a 30-foot roll, and just mess with it. Mesh is like a real art form, It takes you like when I remember when I first started building it, I was hating my life so bad because I had no idea what I was doing. I kept getting hot spots, and I just kept watching Mark Todd and I Get You 69, their tutorials, and I just watched them over and over again.
Hey, I'll tell you a good dude to watch for those types of reviews as well is he's from I believe he's from India or something, man. But his name is let me see if I can
Korax.
Who is it?
Korax?
It might be him, man.
Yeah, he's up in Canada. Yeah.
Wait, is that him? Yep, that's him, man.
Yep, he's up in Canada. He's a good dude. He reviews. Yeah. I like the way he does the reviews. Everything's so positive and happy.
Yeah, that dude's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I learned how to do all the oxidizing and shit like that for it. He does it a little bit different, I think, though. Because do you have to dip it in water? Because that's what he does.
You can. I don't do that step. I skip that step. You can do it, but everyone's got their little, like I said, it's an art form. There's no certain way to do art. You just kind of do it.
Well, the reason I'm trying to learn it, really, it's not only just for our DAs, but the Evo 1 V2, I have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get that shit to have good flavor. And it's like pulling, I don't know, man. It's like finding a needle in the haystack.
Yep, I've had my fair share shaked with RDAs and RTAs like that, where it's like I hear everybody else having good experiences with it, and it's just not doing it for me. And the only thing I can think of, because I can get the build down perfectly to what my buddy has, but we just don't vape the same liquids. Some people just don't realize how important a role your liquid plays in some of these atomizers. Like a certain atomizer may be great with fruits and stuff. But that same atomizer, if you're a bakery fan, just won't give you the vape you're looking for.
That's a huge aspect of it, man. Flavor, eat whatever. Like I've said it in the past. Each of my RDAs are usually dedicated to a certain flavor, and that's the flavor I rock in them. Except for the basic, I feel like the basic's pretty versatile. I can put a good range of juices in that.
I think the basic will take almost any flavor you could throw at it.
Yeah, the basic's a good, solid, everyday RDA. Oh yeah, back to the mesh thing. What count mesh do you have, Steven? 200, 300?
I bought it from Vape and Art. It was the only thing they had. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, because depending on the thread, the lower the number, the higher the VG you can use in it. So like 200, like I like 300. It's that nice. It doesn't over wick. It's that nice fine line. 300 does real good with like 70-30 liquids.
325 stainless steel.
Yeah, that works. All right.
But see, my problem is I don't like stainless steel, man. So that's something.
Oh, and
but that's all that I could find. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. I feel like stainless steel, and this is just my opinion, but whether it's coils, whether it's Claptons, whether it's just round wire, I always feel like it makes your cotton turn a certain color, and it's like I just don't. I don't like it.
Because I don't get that much. I use stainless steel exclusively on my Macs and my MOSFETs because I like the low resistance I can get out of it. I can get a 0.32, which is my favorite build on MOSFET and most of my RDAs. With just using some 25 gauge stainless steel, 5 wraps spaced, comes out to a 0.32 every time for me.
Sure.
On my regulated mods, most of the time it's Kanthal with maybe a little bit, or if I'm using a Clapton, a little bit of nichrome wrapped on the outside to give it some pretty color.
See, I just have a Kanthal in this right now, Kanthal coil, and that's all I used to vape, but now it's nichrome 80 for the most part. But anything but stainless steel for me works. And
every mod I have is N90 right now.
I haven't tried that stuff yet.
What was that?
I haven't tried N90 yet.
I think it heats up a little bit better than the 80, and it gives good flavor. I haven't had a problem with it yet.
Someone in the chat asked how to spell the dude's name that we were just talking about. It's here, I'll try to spell it. QORAX. This dude has pretty cool videos if you want to check it out, Robert. But yeah, Mr. Swaggins in the chat said he's fanboying out right now. But yeah, I'm going to definitely give those meshes a wick a try. I'm going to keep trying to perfect it until I can get the greatest flavor out of it. And then we'll have this discussion again on a later date. See if I can get it to really perform how everyone says it can. Well, I'm going to call the show right now at 10:40. I feel like this was a great show. I definitely
7:40.
Yeah, 7:40, as some dude would always say if he was here.
10:40.
Yes, he's got my back.
Is outnumbered tonight.
See the Orioles? Yeah. See, Baltimore Orioles. That's right, East Coast. Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
10:40, man.
Oh, he's in Baltimore.
Balmer. Hey, hon.
Okay, so if you'd like to start it off, Mr. Louie, I do thank you for being here. If you want to start off the send out.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for the invite, guys. I wasn't doing much, but just watching a little bit of The Voice. Yes, I have a soft spot. There's many layers to me. You catch me anywhere, anytime in some Facebook groups. If not, you'll see me every other Sunday on the VF. That's the high-end vape forum on Tenacious TX Vapes channel, along with myself, Sand, Swaggins, and Pal 702. Love you, brothers. Yeah, we'll be on this Sunday since we skipped last Sunday for the all the guys are at the expo. So we'll see you then. It's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll pass it all along to Bill over there.
All right. So thank you, Mr. Louie, for being on here. The true Mr. High End. Definitely catch Louie on his show. You can catch his hair on its own show, probably. Thank you for Steve for taking over and making sure everything ran smooth and getting this up on Google Hangouts, because I had no idea what the hell was going on. And thank you to everyone in the chat. You guys are the reason we do what we do, and we look forward to seeing you guys every week. Steve, take it away, my friend.
Yes, I would like to thank Louis for stepping up, getting in the chat with us, getting in this this hot talk, if you will.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, and talking about some high end, that is something that I really like to discuss, and I feel like this way we had some good conversations tonight. It was nice. Now I'm definitely going to get mesh, and I'm going to tackle that bitch, and I'm going to make sure that it works right. But I don't have a lot of descriptions underneath, but you know, if you want to follow Mr. Cooper's channel, I do have it in the description where you can find him. Definitely check out Louis with his high-end talk of the gods. And, you know, thank you everyone for being here tonight. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, thank you guys. And I will see you next Monday. Peace. At 10:40, because there's nobody who can say 7:40.
7:40. What am I, chopped liver now?
I guess you can say it, but 10:40.